The message came on a Tuesday morning. It appeared simultaneously on every computer, phone, and screen on Earth. The world's best hackers couldn't block it. The most powerful governments couldn't stop it. For 7 minutes, all of humanity received the same broadcast. Greetings, people of Earth. We are the Galactic Council, a union of spacefaring civilizations. Your world has been observed since you first began using radio signals. You have now reached a level of development that qualifies you for contact. We extend an invitation to join our community of worlds. Around the planet, people reacted with fear, joy, disbelief, and wonder. Religious leaders claimed it was a sign from God. Scientists called it the most important moment in human history. Military leaders worried it might be a trick. 3 days later, a second message arrived. This one contained coordinates in Earth's solar system and a date, 2 weeks away. The Council would open a temporary wormhole at that location. Earth was invited to send representatives to meet with the Council. In emergency sessions, world leaders debated who should go. After much argument, they chose Captain Lisa Morgan of the International Space Defense Force. She was smart, calm under pressure, and had experience with both diplomacy and combat. Lisa would lead a small team to represent all of humanity. This is a tremendous responsibility, Lisa said during the global press conference. Her short brown hair and steady gaze projected confidence, though inside she felt the weight of her mission. I will do my best to represent Earth's interests. The team was assembled quickly. Jack Bennett, a former ambassador with gray at his temples, would serve as diplomatic advisor. Dr. Olivia Wright, with her quick mind and gift for languages, joined as senolinguist. Daniel Kim, young but brilliant, was selected as Chief Science Officer. They had just 10 days to prepare for humanity's first official contact with alien life. In those days, the world changed. Old conflicts were put aside. Nations that had been enemies for generations now worked together. A special ship was prepared, the Horizon Asterisk, Earth's most advanced vessel. On the night before departure, Lisa sat alone in her quarters, looking at pictures of her family. Her husband Sam and daughter Kira smiled from the screen. "What if I make the wrong choice?" she asked the empty room. "What if I fail?" Her phone buzzed with a message from Sam. "We believe in you. The whole world does." The next morning, the Horizon Asterisk launched from the International Space Platform. Crowds gathered in cities around the world to watch on giant screens. Children were let out of school. Workers left their jobs. This was history happening, and everyone wanted to witness it. As the ship approached the coordinates, tension grew on the bridge. No one knew exactly what to expect. Would the aliens look like humans? Would they be friendly? What did the Council really want? "Energy readings are increasing," Daniel reported, eyes fixed on his instruments. "Something is happening." Space itself seemed to bend in front of the ship. A blue light appeared, growing larger until it formed a swirling tunnel of energy. "The wormhole," Olivia whispered. "It's beautiful." "Are we receiving any communication?" Lisa asked. Jack checked the systems. "Yes, they're sending navigation instructions. They want us to fly through the wormhole." Lisa took a deep breath. This was the moment of truth. There was no way to know what waited on the other side. But turning back was not an option. Earth needed to take its place among the stars. "Follow their instructions," she ordered. "Take us through." The Horizon Asterisk moved forward, entering the swirling blue light. For a moment, the ship shuddered. Then everything went silent as they passed through the gateway to another part of the galaxy. Humanity's journey into the wider universe had begun. The sleek starship Horizon Asterisk hummed with energy as it approached the coordinates where the wormhole would appear. Captain Lisa Morgan stood on the bridge, her hands clasped behind her back. The crew worked quietly at their stations, each person aware of the weight of their mission. "Wormhole formation in 30 seconds, said Daniel Kim, his eyes fixed on the screen in front of him. Lisa nodded. "All systems ready." "Yes, Captain." "Everything is green," replied Daniel. The ship's view screen showed empty space, but soon that space began to twist. It started as a small point of light that quickly grew into a swirling blue vortex. The Horizon was the most advanced ship humans had ever built, but next to this alien technology, it seemed primitive. "It's beautiful," whispered Olivia Wright as she stepped onto the bridge. The xenolinguist had been studying the alien language files for weeks. "Hard to believe we're about to travel farther than any human in history." Jack Bennett joined them, adjusting his uniform. "Let's hope they're as friendly in person as they were in their message." Lisa took a deep breath. "Take us in, steady approach." The Horizon moved forward into the swirling blue light. For a moment, the ship shook. Lights flickered. Several crew members grabbed their stations for support. Then everything became still and quiet as they passed through. When they emerged on the other side, the view took their breath away. A massive space station hung in orbit around twin stars, one blue, one orange. The station looked like a giant wheel with spokes connecting to a central hub. Ships of all sizes and shapes moved around it. "My God," said Jack, "it's like something from a dream." The ship's communication system beeped. A voice spoke in perfect English. "Earth Vessel Horizon *. This is Galactic Council Station Prime. Follow the beacon to Docking Bay 17. Lisa acknowledged the message, and the ship followed a small blinking light toward the station. As they got closer, they could see that the station was much larger than they first thought. It could easily hold a small city. The Horizon * docked smoothly. The crew gathered near the airlock, nervous but excited. Lisa stood at the front with Jack, Olivia, and Daniel beside her. "Remember," Lisa said to her team, "we represent all of Earth. Let's make a good first impression." The airlock opened with a hiss. Standing on the other side was a group of beings unlike anything they had ever seen. At the front stood a tall creature that seemed to be made of living crystal. Light played through its transparent body, creating rainbow patterns. "Welcome to the Galactic Council," the crystal being said. "I am Zorax, Council Secretary. We are pleased to receive Earth's delegation." Lisa stepped forward. "Thank you for your invitation. I am Captain Lisa Morgan of Earth." Zorax led them through wide corridors. Aliens of every shape and size moved around them. Some looked almost human. Others were completely different. Floating clouds of gas, insect-like beings, creatures that seemed to shift form as they walked. They entered a large room with a view of the twin stars. Food and drinks had been set out on tables. "A reception to welcome Earth to the galactic community," Zorax explained. As they mingled, Lisa noticed that many aliens were watching them with curious eyes. Some seemed friendly, others wary. A small blue alien approached Lisa. "Is it true that humans went from first flight to space travel in less than a century?" it asked. Before Lisa could answer, Zorax interrupted. "You must be tired from your journey. Tomorrow, we will begin the assessment process." "Assessment?" asked Jack. "We thought we were invited to join the council." Zorax's crystalline form glittered. "Oh no. You are being considered for protected species status. Full membership is centuries away for a species as young as yours." The human delegation exchanged looks of surprise and disappointment. This was not what they had expected. "Protected status?" Lisa asked carefully. "Yes," said Zorax. "Like children under the guidance of adults. For your own safety, of course. The galaxy can be a dangerous place for developing species." Lisa kept her face neutral, but inside she felt a spark of anger. They had come as explorers and potential allies, not as children seeking protection. "We look forward to learning more tomorrow," she said politely. As Zorax moved away, Jack leaned close to Lisa. "They don't see us as equals." "No," Lisa agreed quietly. "But they will." Lisa woke early the next morning in her assigned quarters on the space station. The room was comfortable, but clearly designed with non-humans in mind. The bed was too long, and strange lights pulsed softly along the ceiling. A chime sounded at her door. Jack, Olivia, and Daniel waited outside, all looking as if they had slept poorly. "Ready for our assessment?" Lisa asked. "As ready as we'll ever be," said Olivia. She carried her translator device, though so far all the council members had spoken perfect English. Zorax met them in the corridor. The crystalline being led them through the massive station to a large circular chamber. Seats rose in tiers around the walls, filled with aliens of all descriptions. In the center was a plain platform where the humans were directed to stand. "The Council will now begin its assessment of Species 4728, designation Human," announced a deep voice. The humans looked up to see Grand Counselor Elzar floating above a special platform. Unlike Zorax's solid form, Elzar appeared to be made of pure energy contained within a roughly humanoid shape. Light swirled within the being's form like liquid fire. "We will determine if humans are ready for galactic society," Elzar continued, "or if they require protection until they mature further." For the next several hours, the council members took turns questioning the humans. Some questions were simple, others deeply complex. "How many wars has your species fought in the last century?" asked a reptilian alien. "Do humans believe in a universal creator?" questioned a being that looked like a ball of floating tentacles. "How do you handle resource distribution?" inquired another. Lisa and her team answered honestly, explaining Earth's history, conflicts, and progress. They described how humans had united after discovering they were not alone in the universe. During a break, the humans were led to a side chamber. Food and water had been provided, though the food looked strange. "They're treating this like a test," Daniel said quietly, "and I don't think we're passing." I caught several council members whispering after I mentioned how quickly we developed nuclear power, Jack added. They seemed concerned. Olivia nodded. I've been watching their reactions. They used the term protection, but it feels more like containment. When they returned to the council chamber, a new series of tests began. The humans were shown images and asked to interpret them. They were given logic puzzles and ethical dilemmas. Lisa noticed some council members looking surprised at their answers. "The human capacity for adaptation is remarkable," one council member said to another, not realizing Lisa could hear them. "Perhaps too remarkable." At the end of the day, Zorax approached them again. "You have completed the first phase of assessment. The council will now deliberate." "How long will that take?" Lisa asked. "Not long. The council is efficient," Zorax replied. "While you wait, you may explore the public areas of the station." As Zorax left, a small alien approached them cautiously. It had pale blue skin and large dark eyes. "I am Nyx," it said in a whisper, representative of the Tillari. "You should know what you're facing." Lisa looked around to make sure they weren't being watched. "What do you mean?" "The council uses a classification system for all species. Class 1 is primitive, pre-spaceflight. Class 5 is fully developed, like the founding council races. Humans have been rated Class 2, barely above primitive." Daniel frowned. "That's ridiculous. We've mastered nuclear power, computers, genetic engineering." Nyx held up a six-fingered hand. "It's not about technology alone. It's about whether they believe you will follow their rules. They think humans are too unpredictable, too quick to fight." "So this assessment is just for show?" Jack asked. "No, it's real," Nyx said, "but the outcome was decided before you arrived. They will offer you protection, which means control. Many species in this room have been protected for thousands of years." "Why are you telling us this?" Lisa asked. Nyx's large eyes blinked slowly. "Because my people have been protected for 6 centuries. We've seen no path to advancement. Perhaps humans will find a way where we could not." Before they could ask more questions, Nyx slipped away into the crowd. The human delegation looked at each other, the reality of their situation becoming clear. "They're afraid of us," Olivia said softly. Lisa nodded. and fear rarely leads to fair treatment. The next morning, Lisa and her team were called back to the council chamber. This time, the room was packed with even more aliens. News of the human assessment had spread throughout the station. Many were curious to see these newcomers who had advanced so quickly. Grand Counselor Elzar floated at the center of the chamber, glowing brighter than the day before. The energy being's voice filled the room without seeming to come from any specific place. After careful review, the council has reached its decision regarding Earth. Elzar announced, "Captain Lisa Morgan, please step forward to receive our judgment." Lisa walked to the center of the chamber, standing tall despite feeling the weight of countless alien eyes upon her. "Humans have shown remarkable potential," Elzar began. "Your species has advanced from primitive technology to space travel in a mere few centuries, while most species take thousands of years to make similar progress." Several council members nodded. Others shifted uncomfortably in their seats. However, Elzar continued, "This rapid development concerns us. Your species still fights wars among itself. You have damaged your own planet. You solve problems through conflict as often as through cooperation." Lisa opened her mouth to object, but Elzar raised a glowing hand. "The Council has decided to offer Earth protected status," Elzar said. "This is a generous offer. You will receive certain benefits in exchange for accepting our guidance." Zorak stepped forward, crystalline body shimmering. "Under protected status, Earth will receive limited access to medical technology that will eliminate many human diseases. You will be granted restricted faster-than-light travel capabilities to explore nearby star systems. Council observers will be stationed on Earth to help guide your development." "And what must we give in return?" Lisa asked, though she already suspected the answer. Zorax's voice remained calm and even. "Earth must agree to halt all military technology development beyond its current level. Your weapons will be frozen at their present capability. All space vessels must be registered with and approved by the Council. Earth will have no voting rights in Council matters, but may petition for consideration through appointed representatives." The room fell silent. Lisa glanced back at her team. Jack looked troubled, Olivia angry, and Daniel was furiously taking notes on his tablet. "How long would this protected status last?" Lisa asked. "Until the Council determines that humanity has reached sufficient maturity," Elzar replied. "This typically requires several centuries, at minimum." "And if we decline this offer?" Lisa pressed. The energy being seemed to pulse brighter for a moment. "Then Earth will remain isolated from galactic society. No trade, no technology sharing, no cultural exchange. The wormhole that brought you here will be closed, and no official contact will be permitted for at least 100 years, at which time your status may be reconsidered." Murmurs spread through the chamber. Some council members looked surprised by the harshness of the alternative. "This is not a negotiation," Elzar added. "It is the consensus of the Council, reached after thorough deliberation." Lisa kept her face neutral, though inside she felt a mix of anger and disappointment. "How long do we have to consider this offer?" "The Council grants you 24 Earth hours to deliver humanity's answer," Elzar stated. "You may use the communication device provided in your quarters to consult with your world leaders." As Lisa and her team were escorted from the chamber, they passed Nyx in the corridor. The small blue alien gave them a look of sympathy. Back in Lisa's quarters, the team gathered around the alien communication device that would allow them to speak with Earth. The machine hummed softly as it established a connection across the vast distance between star systems. "Well," Jack said heavily, "that could have gone better." "They're offering us a cage with nice decorations," Olivia said, pacing the room. Daniel looked up from his tablet. "According to what Nyx told us, and what I've observed, no species has ever moved from protected status to full membership. It's a permanent arrangement." Lisa stared out the viewport at the twin stars. "We have 24 hours to decide the future of humanity. Let's make them count." The communication with Earth was tense. On the screen, The faces of world leaders looked worried as Lisa explained the Council's offer. There were many questions, heated debates, and calls for more time. But the Council's deadline was firm, 24 hours. When the call ended, Lisa turned to her team. They had gathered in her quarters, away from the watchful eyes of the Council. "Earth has given us authority to make the decision," she said. "They trust us to do what's best for humanity." Jack poured himself a cup of water from a strange-looking pitcher. "I think we should accept the offer," he said. "We get medical technology that could save millions of lives. We get limited faster than light travel. It's a foot in the door." "A foot in the door that might be stuck there forever," Olivia countered. "They're treating us like children who need supervision, and they want control over our development." Daniel tapped on his tablet. "I've been reviewing the data Nick shared with me. There are 27 species currently under protected status. None have advanced to full membership in over 2,000 years. Lisa frowned. "So it's not a path to advancement. It's a holding pattern." "Exactly," Daniel said. "And some species have been protected for over 5,000 years." The team fell silent for a moment, considering the implications. "We need more information," Lisa decided. "Let's split up and talk to as many different species as we can. Find out what they really think of this system." The human delegation spread throughout the public areas of the space station. Each member sought out different aliens, asking careful questions and listening closely to the answers. Hours later, they met again in Lisa's quarters. The mood was somber. "The older Council races see protection as charity," Jack reported. "They genuinely believe they're helping less developed species." Olivia nodded. "But most protected species feel trapped. They receive technology, but only what the Council decides they should have. They're not allowed to develop their own." "I spoke with a scientist from one of the mid-tier species," Daniel added. "He said the Council fears rapid development because it's unpredictable. They prefer slow, controlled progress they can monitor." Lisa paced the room. "Did anyone find out why they're so concerned about humans specifically?" "I did," Olivia said. "I spoke with a translator from a species called the Morocs. They said the Council is specifically worried about humanity's adaptability. Our problem-solving abilities develop too quickly. We find solutions they don't expect." "That's a problem?" Jack asked. "For them it is," Olivia explained. "They've built a system based on predictability and control. We're unpredictable." As night fell on the station, the team continued their debate. Jack still favored accepting protection, seeing it as better than isolation. Olivia strongly opposed it, arguing for humanity's right to determine its own path. Daniel pointed out that Earth could develop on its own, even without Council technology. A soft chime at the door interrupted them. Lisa opened it to find Nick standing there, looking nervous. "May I enter?" The small blue alien asked. "I have information you should know." Lisa let Nick in, checking the corridor to make sure no one had seen. "I overheard Council members talking," Nick said quietly. "They have already prepared the protection agreement for you to sign. They are certain you will accept." "Why are they so sure?" Jack asked. "Because every species offered protection has always accepted," Nick replied. "No one has ever refused. The choice between some benefits and complete isolation seems clear to most." "But the benefits come with chains," Olivia said. Nick nodded sadly. "My people accepted protection 600 years ago. We are still waiting for full membership, still asking permission to build ships, to explore, to trade freely." The team looked at each other. The weight of their decision felt heavier than ever. "We have 4 hours left," Lisa said, checking the time. "Let's keep talking." The Council chamber was packed to capacity. Word had spread throughout the station that the humans would deliver their answer. No species had ever rejected protected status before, so most aliens expected a simple ceremony where Earth would accept the Council's generous offer. Lisa and her team entered the chamber together. They had barely slept, spending the night in deep discussion. By morning, they had reached a decision. They had spoken once more with Earth's leaders, who had given them final approval for their plan. The human delegation walked to the center of the chamber with steady steps. Grand Counselor Elzar floated above them, glowing brightly. Zorax stood nearby, a datapad ready in his crystalline hands. The protection agreement was already prepared, waiting only for Lisa's signature. Captain Lisa Morgan of Earth, Elzar's voice echoed through the chamber. The time has come for humanity's answer. Does Earth accept the Council's offer of protected status? The chamber fell silent. Hundreds of alien eyes watched Lisa, some with curiosity, some with sympathy, some with hidden concern. Lisa stood tall, her face calm. She had practiced what she would say. But now, in this moment, she felt the weight of her species' future on her shoulders. She looked around the room, noting the many protected species watching from the lower seats, the powerful council members in their elevated positions. She saw Nyx at the edge of the crowd, those large eyes filled with hope. Grand Counselor, Lisa began, her voice clear and strong. Humanity has carefully considered your offer. Zorax stepped forward, holding out the datapad. Simply place your hand here to accept, Captain. Lisa looked at the pad, but did not reach for it. The silence stretched for several seconds. Council members began to shift in their seats. Is there a problem? Elzar asked, a hint of impatience in the energy being's voice. Lisa looked up, meeting the gaze of the Grand Counselor directly. Humanity wishes to respond to your offer. Then do so, Elzar said. Accept the protection of the Council. Lisa took a deep breath. Jack Daniel and Olivia stood firmly behind her, united in their decision. Earth's response is no. The single word echoed in the silent chamber. Then chaos erupted. Council members rose from their seats, voices raised in shock and confusion. Protected species representatives whispered to each other in amazement. No one had ever refused before. Silence. Elzar's voice boomed, and the room gradually quieted. The energy being seemed to pulse with barely contained emotion. Perhaps you misunderstand the offer, Captain Morgan. You are refusing advanced medical technology, faster than light travel, and the protection of the most powerful alliance in the galaxy. We understand perfectly, Lisa replied. We are also refusing restrictions on our development, external control of our military, and second-class status in galactic society. Zorax stepped forward. This is most irregular. Protected status is a gift, a kindness to developing species. Is it kindness to keep species dependent for thousands of years? Olivia asked, stepping up beside Lisa. We spoke with many protected species during our time here. They feel trapped, not protected. This is outrageous. A large insect-like council member chittered from the upper seats. Humans are clearly too primitive to understand what they are rejecting. Or perhaps, Daniel said, we understand exactly what we're rejecting. The chamber erupted in noise again. Arguments broke out among council members. Protected species representatives watched in shock and growing interest. Elzar's glow intensified. You realize this means isolation. Earth will be cut off from galactic society. You will receive no technology, no cultural exchange, no support. Lisa nodded. We understand. Earth will make its own way. This is humanity's final answer. Elzar asked, voice filled with disbelief. No, Lisa said. This is just our beginning. Throughout the chamber, whispers spread among the protected species. Something unprecedented had happened. A newcomer species had said no to the mighty council. And somehow, the council seemed unsure how to respond. The council chamber remained in turmoil. Some council members shouted that humans should be removed from the station immediately. Others called for a closed session to discuss this unexpected development. Protected species representatives watched with growing interest as the powerful council struggled to handle a simple refusal. Lisa stood firm amid the chaos. She had expected anger, but the level of confusion surprised her. It seemed that in thousands of years of council history, no one had ever simply said no. Order. Elzar's voice finally cut through the noise. We will have order in this chamber. As the room quieted, Lisa stepped forward again. Grand Counselor, if I may speak. Elzar's energy form pulsed with what might have been irritation. You have already given your answer, Captain Morgan. I've given our answer to your offer, Lisa replied. Now I would like to present an alternative. This caused another stir in the chamber. Zorax moved closer to Elzar, speaking in low tones. After a moment, Elzar nodded. The Council will hear your alternative, though we are not obligated to accept it. Lisa nodded. Earth proposes a third option. Not protection, not isolation, but probationary membership. That is not how the system works, Zorax stated flatly. Perhaps it's time for the system to evolve, Lisa suggested. Earth would like to prove its worth through contributions to galactic society, not through submission. She turned to address the entire chamber. Humans advance quickly because we adapt. We solve problems in new ways. Instead of fearing this ability, why not benefit from it? Let Earth prove itself through actions, not by waiting centuries for permission to grow. From the upper tiers, a reptilian council member leaned forward. And what would this probationary membership involve? Earth would share its scientific and cultural achievements, Lisa explained. We would accept reasonable safety protocols, but maintain our right to develop our own technology. We would have limited voting rights on issues that directly affect us. Preposterous, muttered some council members. Interesting, said others. From the lower seats where protected species sat, a growing murmur of support could be heard. Nyx stood up, small blue form barely visible above the seats. The Teleri support this proposal, Nyx called out, voice shaking slightly. We have been protected for 6 centuries. Perhaps it is time for a new approach. Another protected species representative stood. The Vrel also support this idea. We have technologies and arts to share, if only we were permitted. Within minutes, representatives from a dozen protected species had voiced support. They had watched silently for centuries, accepting the Council's decisions. Now, inspired by humanity's boldness, they found their voices. The Council members looked increasingly uncomfortable. This was more than one species rejecting protection. This was the beginning of a movement. Elzar conferred hastily with other high-ranking Council members. After several minutes of private discussion, the energy being turned back to Lisa. The Council requires time to consider this unprecedented situation. We will adjourn for 3 days. During this time, the human delegation will remain on the station as our guests. Lisa nodded. Thank you, Grand Counselor. As the session ended, Council members hurried away, but protected species representatives flocked to the human delegation. They had questions, ideas, hopes. For the first time in centuries, they saw a possible path forward. Back in their quarters, Lisa's team could hardly believe what had happened. Do you think they'll actually consider our proposal? Jack asked. They might not have a choice, Olivia replied. Did you see how many species supported us? The Council can't ignore all of them. Daniel looked up from his tablet. According to my calculations, the species that voiced support represent nearly 40% of the galactic population. Lisa smiled. We came here expecting to join galactic society. Instead, we might help reshape it. Over the next 3 days, the station buzzed with activity. Protected species formed a coalition around Earth's proposal. Mid-tier members began to voice similar concerns about the Council's rigid hierarchy. Even some full Council members privately admitted the system might benefit from reform. When the Council reconvened, they presented a modified version of Lisa's proposal. Earth would receive a new status, provisional member, with a path to full membership based on specific contributions rather than time. As Lisa prepared to return to Earth with news that would forever change human history, she knew this was just the beginning. Humanity hadn't just found a place in the stars. They had catalyzed a transformation that would ripple across the galaxy for centuries to come. All because they had the courage to say one simple word: no.